The decision is made. The date is set. And now, the leader of the SSPX, Father Davide Pagliarani, is explaining exactly why they plan to consecrate bishops this summer without Rome's approval. This isn't just news. It's a direct challenge that strikes at the very heart of authority, tradition, and communion. For any Catholic who cares about the unity of the Church, this moment is heavy with history and consequence. But to truly understand this, we have to move past the headlines and listen to the reasoning from Flavigny-sur-Ozerain. Father Pagliarani frames this not as rebellion, but as an act of charity and necessity. The supreme law, he insists, is the salvation of souls, salus animarum. And he believes countless souls are in spiritual distress, unable to find, in his words, the full preaching of Catholic truth or the sacraments as the Church has always administered them in ordinary parishes. So, what's the deep insight here for those of us who understand the Church's structures? This is where it gets personal. The SSPX narrative is built on a profound sense of abandonment. They claim they tried. Pagliarani wrote to Pope Leo XIV twice, first for an audience, then with a doctrinal appeal and a promise of fidelity. The response from Cardinal Fernandez, he says, was evasive. Their proposal? That Rome temporarily tolerate their exceptional status for the good of the souls they serve. They saw this as realistic and reasonable. Rome's silence or refusal, in their view, leaves them no alternative. They see the justifications from Archbishop Lefebvre's 1988 consecrations not only as still valid, but as intensified. Pagliarani points directly to the ongoing implementation of Vatican II, the emphasis on the kerygma over doctrine, pastoral practices around communion, and even the 2019 Abu Dhabi Declaration on religious pluralism as signs that the crisis is deeper now. Here's the crucial, painful tension he highlights. He rejects a false choice between tradition and hierarchical communion. A Catholic, he argues, must hold both. But when he perceives the hierarchy itself as steering the bark of Peter away from doctrinal clarity, which fidelity comes first. For the SSPX, the answer is to preserve the faith itself, even at the cost of canonical recognition. His comparison is striking. He notes the Pope's pragmatic dealings with bishops in China and wonders why greater fear is placed on the SSPX than on the Beijing government. It's an appeal to the Pope as a father who should understand a genuine case of conscience. But let's be clear, this is also a devastating critique of the post-conciliar Church. He calls restrictions on the traditional Latin Mass a failure to understand true tradition and states the novice ordo has an inherent inability to edify souls. This isn't just a request for tolerance. It's a wholesale theological and liturgical indictment. So where does this leave us, the wider Catholic family? This impending action forces a brutal examination of conscience on all sides. For the SSPX, it's the ultimate test of their state of necessity argument. For Rome, it's a test of pastoral response to deep-seated doctrinal disagreement. And for the rest of us, it's a sorrowful front-row seat to a wound that refuses to heal. Father Pagliarani ends with a call to prayer and preparation. They hope for an audience, but are ready to suffer condemnation, believing history will vindicate them. As we watch this unfold toward July 1st, we are not just watching a disciplinary clash. We are witnessing a profound and painful disagreement about what it means to be the Church in a time of perceived crisis. The echo of 1988 is deafening. The question now is whether this chapter will end in deeper fracture or in a miraculous, last-minute grace of unity that today seems utterly out of reach.